Hey guys, Travis Daggett talking today about how to make the decision to sell your property or not. Some reasons to sell, maybe some reasons to not sell or reconsider. So one of the things to consider when you're thinking about selling is where we're at in the market cycle. So 6 months of inventory is equilibrium. And what that means is if no new properties came on the market, it would take 6 months to sell everything that's on the market right now. So that's equilibrium. So if it's under that, if it's say around 2 months, which it's been around 2 months in Eugene for quite a while, then that's definitely more of a seller's market, meaning there's lower inventory and less supply, so there's going to be more demand. It's going to be harder to buy a house. Prices are generally going to go up, and there's going to be more offers. Sometimes there'll be multiple offers on a property, and they tend to sell fairly quickly. So right now, properties with around 2 months of inventory, that means if no new properties came on the market, all of them would be gone in 2 months. So if you're considering selling now, it might be a good time from that perspective. You're more likely to sell your property more quickly and for more money. The other thing to think about is the time of the year. So of course the best time, everything else being equal, to sell is in the spring. That's when people are generally looking for houses. Summer is also good because people then are moving without having to change schools in the middle of the school year if the move would mean kids switching schools. It's usually hardest to sell a property in the winter. You have holidays. You also have a lot of rain, sometimes snow and ice. If you live in Eugene, you know you always have rain. So those are some things to consider. Another thing to consider is just the property itself. Is it ready to sell? Is it renovated? Are the repairs done? If they're not, you may want to do those yourself or have somebody do them so that you can get as much as possible for the property. If you don't, you may want to sell to somebody as is for cash with no inspection or appraisal, someone like an investor, and or you may not. So those are some things to consider regarding the condition of the property. There's also tax considerations. If you've lived in a property for 2 out of the last 5 years, you don't have to pay capital gains. So that's something to consider. And then of course you have the tax year and property taxes, and that's one other thing to consider, not a major factor. So hopefully that explains just some things to think about when you're considering selling. If you have any questions or comments, or want us to cover more about this subject in the future, just let us know. Be sure and subscribe to this channel, our YouTube channel, and that way you'll be notified when we release new content, and I'll do my best to do that fairly regularly, and usually it's in response to a question or something that's come up as I've worked with a buyer or seller. That's what we do. We specialize in working with buyers and sellers, helping them to avoid hassle and just simplifying and taking away the confusion for people that want to sell or buy a house.